How do you protect your music and make sure you're getting paid everything that you are owned? So in this video, we're going to break down how copyright works, what to know about sampling, advice on remixes, and how to protect your music. Hi, I'm Adam from AM Music, and I help independent artists get their music ready for the real world by teaching music production, mixing, and mastering. I worked in the music industry for over a decade, working with an indie house label, then moving on to the UK Collection Society PPL, Sony ATV, and BMG. So let's just jump in. Okay, so firstly, let's look at how copyright works. There are two main copyrights in every recorded musical work. Firstly, the sound recording, also known as the master rights. This covers the actual recording of the song. It covers the performance by the musicians on the record. It's usually split between the record label and the musician, usually 50-50. Among the musicians though, this can be split further. So you have featured artists, so the main artist on the record, and then you might have session musicians who played some strings. They would be considered non-featured performers. And depending on the copyright in each country, this split varies. The second is the copyright of the composition or the publishing rights. This protects the songwriting itself, the lyrics and the melody. But this can vary. There are admin deals, there are co-pub deals, and every band and artist and publishing deal handles this differently. Equal shares, splitting music versus lyrics, or dividing up based on individual contributions per song. And this, as a result, can create tensions within a band, and it happens a lot. So to recap, there are two copyrights, one for the sound recording and one for the musical work. Sound recording equals labels and artists, and composition equals publishers and writers. And in the UK, these are handled by two different collection societies, PPL for the performers and the labels, and the PRS MCPS for the publishers and songwriters. Are you confused yet? These societies collect royalties from public performance, live, broadcast, radio, TV broadcast, and physical and digital sales. Publishing royalties can also be split up into mechanical and performance. Mechanicals get paid via your publisher, and the performance gets paid directly by the PRS. So what's the takeaway from this? There are two main types of copyright in music. Anytime you sign a contract or do a deal with a music distributor, it's a good idea to check who is taking care of what. A lot of people tend to forget that there's also a royalty on sound recordings, so don't forget that. Okay, so what about sampling? Can you sample another track and then release it? Legally, no, you cannot, because that's copyright infringement. But let's talk realistically. Artists like The Prodigy, Daft Punk, Kanye West all made huge careers out of sampling. To do it properly, you need permission both from the label and from the publisher. And that can be expensive, or it can be denied altogether. My advice, if you're using a sample and not planning to monetize it, you can upload it to SoundCloud as a bootleg, or another similar platform where you can choose not to monetize. Don't send it to labels or publishers without disclosing that you have a sample in there. If it does gain traction, then you can contact the rights holders, and then you could probably negotiate a split. In my opinion though, if you're creative, you should really mangle the sample, do something unique and different with it so that you can't even tell where the original sample came from. Make it unrecognizable. That's what I think The Prodigy did so brilliantly. What you can also do is replay the sample. So if you just play it on guitar, rather than take the guitar from the sound recording, you are only infringing copyright on one of the two copyrights then. That way you only need to clear the publishing side, not the sound recording side as well. Make sense? A little word of caution though. One of my lecturers when I was studying production at university, they had a top 10 hit and it featured loads of samples in it. And as a result, they didn't see any royalties off the back of having what I think was a number 2 or number 3 hit. Not ideal. Cool, makes sense? Let's move on. For remixes, the same advice applies. Upload your remix to SoundCloud or somewhere similar where you can demonetize it, and then only worry about clearing it when it starts to pick up some attention. If it does blow up, contact the rights holder, be transparent. Don't assume they'll say yes, but they may wish to work with you on it. Most music flies under the radar, but if an algorithm catches your track with the sample in it, or if someone reports it, then it could be taken down. Okay, protecting your music. Are you worried that someone might steal your track? Bad news is, once it's online, it can be copied. Good news, most people aren't looking to steal music from new artists. Even pros accidentally copy things thinking they've come up with something new, and then they realize, oh wait, no, that sounds exactly like that. I've definitely done this before. And I once sent a track to a label, and then a few months later, I heard something very similar on the label owner's own release. Coincidence? Maybe. Inspiration? Possibly. Intentional theft? Who knows? It's hard to prove it either way. So what can you do? Firstly is to understand this. Your music, as soon as you write it down, it's copyright protected. And as soon as you record it, it's copyright protected for those two different copyrights. But it's important, number two, to keep records. So keep your DAW session, upload the track privately somewhere, and better yet, register it with your local collection society. And if someone does steal your track, make sure that you're signed up with the PRS or PPL in the UK. File a claim on the infringing track. This will freeze all royalties and start the disputes process. And then you can try and resolve this directly with the label, or if that doesn't happen, then you're going to have to start the arbitration process, which will require legal action, maybe some fees, could get very messy and expensive. But having that documentation originally is key. I hope this helped you understand how to protect your music and navigate the copyright in this music industry. If you've got questions for me, drop them in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.